Dar ne mutăm un pic atenția asupra planului de acțiune în area economiei sociale și ne uităm puțin și la finanțări, un subiect sensibil cel puțin pe piața românească. O să vedem care sunt modelele de bună practică din Europa și chiar din România. O să vedem cum putem integra opiniile antreprenorilor sociali în a identifica un instrument care să fie foarte adaptat nevoilor lor și o să vedem că deja o astfel de instituție de finanțare alternativă se creionează, este pe punctul de a se naște. Angela, o pomenesc eu pe Ancuța, am rămas impregnată de prezentarea care tocmai s-a încheiat. Un astfel de instrument, respectiv Afini FNSA, este pe punctul de a se înființa și mulți dintre dumneavoastră, dintre cei care ne urmăriți, sunteți acționari fondatori și o să dezvoltăm un pic subiectul acesta, deci o combinație între subiecte din planul de acțiune socială și ce finanțări sociale alternative putem avea pentru sectorul economiei sociale.
Începem al doilea panel. Am să prezint primul invitat, de asemenea pe platforma Zoom. Este vorba despre Dana Verbal, Team Leader pentru Economie Socială, Direcția Generală pentru Ocuparea Forței de Muncă, Afaceri Sociale și Incluziune din Comisia Europeană. Vorbim despre Planul de Acțiune pentru Economie Socială, Youth Entrepreneurship Policy Academy. Dana Verbal.
Bună ziua!
10 minute, mulțumesc!
Bună ziua! And good afternoon. I will have my presentation in English because hopefully I can reach more people in this language. I want to thank very much the ADV Foundation for the invite, and I'm really sorry that I cannot be there physically with you. But I wish to congratulate the ADV Foundation and its partners for organizing the event. I was also present at the edition of last year, and I am very glad to see that the social economy topic is becoming more and more visible in Romania and in the neighboring countries. And I think it's also thanks to events like the one today. And I'm also glad to see that this part of Europe starts to be better connected with what is happening in the rest of Europe, including in countries where social economy is much more developed and has a longer tradition of developing policy frameworks for the social economy. I think there's a lot that countries can learn from each other, and I think it's also very important that the needs and the challenges of social economy actors in this part of Europe become known at the European level, because it's only like this that at EU level we can develop policies that are addressing all the type of needs of actors. And I do believe that the needs in Romania are probably very different from the needs of countries like Sweden or France or Spain. And in fact, we are aware that social economy is not evenly developed across Europe, that there are countries where this field is more developed than in others. And this is also one of the reasons why the Commission launched the Social Economy Action Plan last year. In fact, because there is this discrepancy from the data that we have available, we can see that, for example, paid employment ranges very much from below 1% in some countries to almost 10% in other countries. So this shows that there is a gap and that there is a potential that social economy offers and that is not harnessed in all the countries. And the potential is not only in terms of job creation, but we see that social economy has potential to address needs like the provision of social services, inclusion of vulnerable groups, and also to support with good practices and pioneering initiatives, the green transition and the digital transition. So it is for these reasons that the Commission adopted the action plan for the social economy in December last year. And the action plan provides a framework for Commission actions starting with this year and until 2030. It includes about 60 different actions and 10 key actions. I will not bother you with all of them. The action plan is available online, so you can go through it, you can access it easily and see exactly what we are planning to do at EU level. I would like to focus on two strands of activity that I think are particularly relevant for the conference today. One of them concerns increasing the appeal of entrepreneurship among young people. And here we noticed that younger generations are demonstrating high interest in sustainable development. Antonella Noia from the OECD presented more information about this in the previous session, and she also indicated that young people want to make a difference and they also want to become entrepreneurs. And we also see that in recent years, entrepreneurship education is becoming more common in education systems, but is still not the standard. But that social economy business models are not so well represented in the entrepreneurship education curricula and in business courses. We don't have a lot of data available, and this is also the reason why this year we are planning to launch what we call a flash Eurobarometer concerning entrepreneurship among young people. We are currently working on developing the questionnaire, and we hope to be able to launch it rather soon and to have the results already in autumn. We are interested to hear more about the perception of young people and their interest concerning entrepreneurship, and also to learn what motivates them in becoming entrepreneurs, whether it's only profit or if it's only impact, or whether they want to achieve both. So with this flash Eurobarometer, we hope to get some information about how young people perceive entrepreneurship, but also at the same time, we will use it as a tool to raise awareness about what are the interests and desires of motivations of young people. And at the same time, we are also working very closely with the OECD, so with the team of Antonella Noia, and also with another team at the OECD on developing a key action that was announced in the action plan, which is a Youth Entrepreneurship Policy Academy. We aim to launch it also in the second part of this year, and it will have a duration of 3 years. It will provide different workshops and trainings, and it will bring together policy makers, civil servants from all the EU countries, and also representatives of young entrepreneur networks from all the member states, and as well as representatives of social economy networks. And what we aim to achieve ultimately at the end of these 3 years is that policymakers become better aware of the needs of young entrepreneurs or potentially young entrepreneurs, that they are able to design policy frameworks and support measures that better respond to these needs. We also want young people to be better informed about the opportunities that are already available to them, and to be able to make their needs and their voice better heard at national level and at EU level. This is as much as I can tell about the action right now, because it hasn't been launched yet. But as I said, we aim to launch it in autumn this year. And another relevant field of activity is our work on developing access to finance for social enterprises. This is also a particular focus of the action plan for the social economy. What we have announced in this action plan is different measures that will be implemented under the InvestEU program and under the European Social Fund Plus. But there are loads of other European programs that support directly or indirectly the social economy. In the action plan, we announced that new financial instruments will be launched as of this year under the InvestEU program, and these instruments will be aimed at mobilizing private financing that is targeted to the needs of social enterprises, and this will include loan guarantees and equity investments in social enterprises and also in impact-driven enterprises. And these products are not entirely new in the sense they are new, but they are continuing the successful experience of previous financial instruments that were launched under the Employment and Social Innovation Program. The European Investment Fund is our main implementing partner for instruments dedicated to the social economy under InvestEU. And they have recently published on their website new calls for expressions of interest for financial intermediaries. And I know that there is an EIF representative in the panel today, and she will likely provide more details about this cause and about the work of the EIF. But something else that we are trying to achieve at European level is to develop the finance market for supporting social enterprises through systemic action, because there is as much that we can do from the EU level. We cannot, we don't have the resources at the European Commission to offer grants or loans or investments directly to social enterprises, and this is why we work through financial intermediaries. So we try to support the intermediaries to build their capacity, to help them implement their projects so that they can better reach out to social enterprises. So one such systemic actions that we have developed in the past and we will continue in the future is a call for proposals to develop the supply and demand of social finance for social enterprises. And in fact, a concrete example of a project that we are financing through this call is exactly a project of the ADV Foundation. They have been successful in a call of 2019, and they are working now exactly on launching the alternative financing institution for social enterprises in Romania. And we also have other such type of action grants that we launch and manage at European level. Another call for proposals that was launched recently concerns what we call support for the transaction cost. What it means in practice is that we know there are financial intermediaries who are trying to invest in social enterprises, but that they have very high transaction costs because it is more costly to make many small investments that are risky than it is to make a few big investments that are not risky. So for this reason, we offer grants to support their activity so that they can make more investments in social enterprises. This is, as I mentioned, we cannot, there is as much that we can do from the European level, but what is interesting to have in mind is that there is also funding available at national level, and in particular, the European Social Fund. Ancuța Vameșu mentioned just earlier how the European Social Fund has been the main or only source of financing for developing social enterprises in Romania. So there is a lot of funding that can be made available for developing social economy. What we recommend strongly is that national authorities, when they design their actions to support the social economy, they also have this kind of systemic impact in mind, that their actions are designed in such a way that have a long-term vision, and they take into account what will happen to the newly established social enterprises that we are now financing and help developing to be set up? Will they be able to continue their activity after the grant period? And they can also use the European Social Fund to design measures for scaling up social enterprises that have already proven to work and that have already proven to be committed to their social aims. They can also use it to support the setting up of networks of social enterprises or strengthening the capacity of these networks. We have learned that in countries where social economy networks, representative networks are well developed, where they exist, then the policies are also better because these networks are able to voice the concern of the actors on the ground. And the European Social Fund can even be used for replicating the type of EU actions that we are developing at the European Commission. For example, it could be used to support financial intermediaries to help them take more risk and to invest in social enterprises. So I would really want to highlight that we encourage this systemic approach to developing the social economy. I will stop here with the information about the action plan. I know that one of the next speakers from Social Economy Europe is also very familiar with all the details of the action plan, so I'm sure that he will tell you more about it, and also from the perspective of the social economy actors, how we worked together to develop this action plan. What I want to highlight is that the action plan is a signal to social economy organizations in all the member states and also beyond the EU that their work is important for the European Union and that we are actively supporting them. And while social economy is not a policy field where EU has competence, the action plan can be a useful signaling tool for stakeholders in their dialogue with the public authorities. So you can take the action plan and go to your local authority and say, look, this is important for the European Union, and they also want you to do more. So we are also counting very much on the support of social economy actors on the ground to make the opportunities that are opened by the action plan for the social economy, to make them known and to make them understood and to make them followed up on the ground, because this is essential if we want to make a difference. So with this, I would like to wish you every success, and I hope that the edition next year will, I hope that I will not be a speaker, because it's also important to have some variety, but I hope that I will hear more about progress that was made, about the results, maybe about the first social enterprises that were financed by the Romanian Alternative Financing Institution. So thank you very much.
Mulțumim și noi foarte mult, Dana Verbal, team leader pentru economie socială, Direcția Generală a Ocupării Forței de Muncă, Afaceri Sociale și Incluziune de la Comisia Europeană.